Be quint 2.
To know what happened. You said he put his hand on your throat. I can't hear you right now because I put you on mute because you wouldn't stop. So I'm going to take you off mute in a minute, and what I need to hear is what happened. So you were at the house. How did it come that he put his hand on your throat? Tell me specifically about the details surrounding that incident, please. Okay? Okay, I'm going to take you off mute now. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please feel free to interject if I'm off track. I apologize. George? Right. I had invited Cory in to watch the television. It proceeded to turn into some aggressive groping that I have a long-standing relationship with Mr. Hart that is a long-standing relation. Cory was a party and proceeding to rub his hands around me, and he asked to observe George Hart and I in sexual acts, which I was finding intrusive, voyeuristic, and unwanted. This sudden hand around the throat, I believe, may be because my attentions are for George primarily, and my revulsion at my own bottling up of my discomfort around him putting his hand around my throat or ripping my clothes off previously and ruining our friendship made me afraid to confront him. And so I do realize that revealing to him that I was kidnapped, raped, there was a second attempted rapist I fought off, and then I was strangled almost to death in 2002 was a bit too far for someone who is predatory towards me. However, I am...
Okay, Ms. Ng, I just need you to tell me what he did and how he knew it was unwanted at the time. I don't need the rest of your history. I understand you've had a difficult time, but I need, in order to make the legal findings that you're asking me to make, I need to hear about specifically what happened.
I put it around my throat, and he proceeded to punch his fingers into my arm, mocking the concept of consent for sexual activity, mocking the fact that I am a rape victim, denying that I am a rape victim, saying that I am making it up, possibly as a way to deflect from his own unwanted contact. On an additional event, he actually pushed me into the concrete, bloodying my knuckles over a few dollars of quarters I was picking up, and that was a different alarming event, possibly not so alarming as a hand around my throat, but it was another sign to me that there is something very aggressive, clumsy, and bullying about his behavior towards me.
When did it happen that he pushed you and your knuckles got bloodied?
Presence of Dre. Dre is a young black gentleman who I care about.
The question was when. When did it happen approximately? Was it within the last 2 years?
February, March, and my knuckles were cut open because of the forcefulness
Okay,
with
so
which
tell me what happened. Tell me about the surrounding the incident.
We were walking up to the college food bank, Dre, Cory Quint, and I. Dre was someone that Cory Quint harassed me about repeatedly, asking me if I had a sexual attraction to. Dre is a very handsome black man, but he's 23, and I view him as too innocent and vulnerable. He's more like a child to me, like a son. And I did not like being harassed friendships with black men by Cory Quint. It was another perverse thing he liked to do, including taunt me with various nicknames that I did not like.
So the question was, what happened? You said something about picking up quarters and that he pushed you. Tell me what happened. I don't need to know about what you thought about it. I just need to know what happened.
I was approximately, as I recall, near the Catholic Church on the ascent up to get to the college area. I, Cory Quint, and Dre were walking up the hill. It appears that somebody had accidentally dropped some quarters, possibly out of their car. I noticed it. I began to pick them up. He dive-bombed into me, pushing my knuckles into the concrete, to take the money out from under me. I wasn't going to argue about $2 worth of quarters, but it was alarming behavior nonetheless of his clumsiness and disregard for my safety and well-being.
Okay. Any other contacts that occurred over the last 2 years that caused you alarm?
Yes, he repeatedly would, since his return from jurisdiction, I was uncomfortable making a police report with a missing person. I had no idea where he was. I ascertained that he was down in Arcata when I realized he'd left some wallet at...
That wasn't the question. The question was, were there any other incidents?
Yes,
Okay.
September 3rd. Victoria. I was hanging out with a paraplegic friend of mine named Obi Babs. I said to Babs, that's the guy who put his hand around my throat. You want to see how he looks like, just, to know what to look out for. Babs is quick in his little zooming wheelchair. He zooms up towards the person who's sitting there with several homeless guys, and then Cory Quint starts coming towards Babs with his camera rolling, saying, this is the girl who's making accusations against me and Ozark Iraq, who had separately done sexual innuendo around the homeless down in Lifeboat. And it upset me that I could not enjoy the park due to the violence there, the congregations of abusers, alcoholics. I felt alarmed. I was not sure whether he would try to become physical with me. He was walking towards the direction that I was. I retreated towards the American Legion. We spoke with the American Legion worker. Babs was quite alarmed that this man had put his hand around my throat. I was quite alarmed that Cory Quint would dare to harass or intrude upon the safety of a paraplegic. That was not in my code of ethics to treat a disabled person that way.
Any other contacts other than that?
There have been about 10 violations. That, but I'm working with the authorities of the temporary ex parte restraining order.
Thank you, Ms. Ng. So, Mr. Quint, tell me, do you have, and this is not the time for you to testify, you'll get an opportunity to tell me your side of the